Okay, I am going to do, this is the last one for about a week, a video about just a review of what's been done so far. So I'm driving in. We got the road done, of course. That was Morris Dirt Works that did that out of, I think he's in Carasoso. Did a really good job. I'm happy with it. The conduit going through the ditch in the back needs to be buried a little bit deeper, but I haven't been able to get a hold of him, so that's according to the guys that manage the place out here. But I'm just going to do a real quick review. What we did was we bought 2 Graceland sheds, those big storage sheds. One is the garden shed, which is the one we're looking at right there. And the other is called the corner porch, because it has a porch on the corner, as you can see right there. I think I'll roll down the window a little bit. I might even leave the car running just to keep it cool in here. It's pretty warm already. What I did, if you remember, was I slid these 2 buildings together. It took quite a while to do it because I didn't have all the stuff I needed. I slid the 2 buildings together, and there's the seam right there. And it still needs to be sealed just a little bit better. I'll do that as we go. I see a problem up there that I need to fix next time I'm on the roof. Sue built the stairs. I'm going to turn the water back on also. I'm going to jump here to the water so I don't really have to come back out except to shut it off. What I did here was there's a black sewer T down there. You may see it in some of the other videos. And you can look down there and see the valve. But this is held in with that super sticky tape that you see on TV. That stuff is sticky, I'm not kidding. We insulated the pipes with the big, thick, rubberized, round foam. It just wraps around the pipe. And it was exactly 2 inches in diameter. So I drilled a 2-inch hole in the end of that pipe, or in the end of that T, and just slid it in. It worked perfect. The T isn't open on all 3 sides. T is only open on this side and the side going to the tank. So that's where my valve is. You can see down here, it's all insulated. Everything's insulated. Got a breeze today. You're probably hearing a lot of wind noise. I'm going to turn that water on real quick. So I want to check for leaks when I'm in there. That's all there is to it. It's on. Set that there. Man-eating lizard. There's another one down there. Okay, the solar panels. These 2 panels are from Solar Warehouse. They're 275 watt panels. The 2 panels on the other side of the house are also 275 watt panels. They're pretty good panels. You can see my security camera up there. They work pretty good, generally. Need to open this door. Up there on the roof, we have Solar World 235 watt panels. I mounted those using, what do you call that stuff? Unistrut. And I'd have to say don't do it, because it's expensive. You have to cut it, and the panels don't mount exactly perfectly right. It's hard to get a good seal. It's just not the best way to go. If I had it to do over again, I'd probably just buy the panel mounts from Solar World or whoever and mount it that way. It'd be cheaper. These controllers, you can get them on eBay from anywhere from $10 up. These are PTTP, I think they call it, PMTP controllers. Now, I went on looking for controllers. I've done this before. I've built solar stuff before, and I've always used the cheap controllers. I have one of the cheaper controllers over here someplace buried. I don't know what to do with it, but I use those, on ham radio stuff and junk like that. But the way this is going to work, and it's already working this way, is this one goes to the panels out there, and this one seems to be doing a lot of the work. But this one's past it, I think. I think I can go through there and see how many. I can't read it, but somewhere here it tells you how many kilowatts that each set of panels has made to charge the batteries. 14 volts, 10 amps. That is 13.1 kilowatts. No, that's not it either. I can't find it. I'll find it another time and do a video on it. But anyhow, the way these are going to work, if you ever watched the movie Forbidden Planet with Robbie the Robot, that's a documentary film, of course, about what scientists thought space travel would be like by now. Well, these men go to another planet. They find an infinite power supply, and it's fed off the core of this planet. And as it needs power, like this would be a gauge, this would be a gauge, and this would be a gauge. As the community needed power, it would increase incrementally. This one would start, then this one would start, then this one would start, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, this one. So they'd have basically infinite power. Well, that's the way this one kind of works. I don't have infinite power, but I have lots. So this one will work, then this one will work as it needs. This one's actually doing a little bit more than it usually does right now. So we're pumping 14 amps, 15, 16 amps into the panels right now, or into the batteries. So that's pretty good. And this one up here, what's it doing? Nothing. I've had a little problem with that one. I might want to disconnect it. See what's up. Put a different one in there. Might do that before I take off. Have to find a screwdriver. But anyhow, that's how that'll work. As it needs power, more of them will light up. The batteries are Trojan. I don't know if you can read that or not. L16E-ACs. They're 6-volt batteries. think they're 275 amp hour at 20 amp batteries. So I've got 10 of them, so there's 2,750 amp hour worth of batteries there. They should last a really long time. They're not overcharging, they're not doing anything they're not supposed to do. They're working pretty good. These amp gauges here, you saw me in a previous video, I took out the old amp gauges. If you're going to use amp gauges, get something good. These were not good. Or the old ones were not good. I don't know what I did with them. I'm going to take them to Wyoming and give them to a friend who does a lot of electrical work. I'm going to walk into the other room and grab a screwdriver. Reset that one controller. Turn the pump on. These controllers here are actually powered by the batteries. So you can see that's still on. And it's showing a charge, but there is no charge. So we're disconnecting that one, hooking it back up. It's the only one that does that, so I think there's probably could be something wrong with it. Now it's showing a charge. I can cycle through at 0.83 amps. Anyhow, I got these off Amazon. If you're going to use them, do the research. Find good ones. Those are really easy to hook up. Follow the instructions, and they give you a wealth of information. Most of this stuff I bought off Amazon. The fuse connectors, everything there I bought off Amazon. The inverter, be careful what inverters you buy. Make sure to do the research on your inverter, because there's a lot of them out there, and even the ones sold by some of the solar companies aren't that great. So go online, do your research. This one had good reviews. I always read the reviews. Read the reviews to death. That's why I went with those down there. I'll tell you about that in a minute. This is the PowerTech On 3000, 6000 watt inverter. I've never even seen this one get hot. There's the PS 1004. I mean, I'm running all kinds of stuff, more than I actually wanted to, and it doesn't even warm up. But make sure to read your reviews. This one seems to be doing a really good job. It's a nice inverter. It's pure sine wave. It does have a lot of RF. So if you're wanting to bring ham radio stuff out, make sure to get 12 volt ham radio stuff, and turn the inverter off when you don't need it. I can turn the inverter off right here. And it's also got a switch over here on the side. Turn that off and turn this off, and you're not going to get any of that hum. The ham radio unit that I brought out here is a big Yaesu, and unfortunately it's AC only, so I can't even use it out here. I'm going to put it on eBay and see if I can get it sold and buy another one. The reviews on these, the reason I went with these, exact reason, was the reviews. I went online and I did all sorts of research as far as inverter or controllers. And I found several YouTube videos of people who were, they're not professionals or anything, but they knew their electronics. So they went through these and they took several inverters or controllers and lined them up, took them apart, did the checkouts on them, and a lot of them that say, hey, I'm a 30 amp inverter, are actually only good for about 10 amps or 20 amps. So you have to really check them out. These, nearly all of the videos that I watched, they'd have the $1,000 inverter or controller, the $500 controller, the $2 controller, all of them lined up there. And they'd always say, and for the money, go with these. Now, whether that's true or not, it's up to you to figure out. But they seem to be really good. I probably have to replace that top one. That's the second time that it's locked up, but it's not actually doing anything when it locks up. So, but I've got enough panels up there. It's just 2 panels or 4 panels. The way it is right now will charge these batteries no problem. I'm not running that much stuff. But that's this room pretty much. The wiring, I do still need to increase the size of this one here and this one here. I want something a little bit larger. The wiring is all 12 volt. All this is 12 volt. So you don't really have to run it through conduit. But where I'm at, I have mice and I have heat and stuff like that. There's a couple of good reasons to run it in conduit. One is you don't want the mice chewing on it, and that could cause a fire. If you got mice chewing on your wires, you're asking for problems. But to me, I can throw rat poison all over this place and kill them all off. That's not a problem. But to me, in fact, there was a piece up there, rat poison, but it's gone. They got it. It was kind of more important to get rid of the rat's nest. I don't know if I've made a video of it, but when I was pulling this group of wires through, there's like 16 wires there. I ended up with a rat's nest and a half. I mean, it was terrible. You want to avoid the rat's nest if you can, so that just makes it look neater. These wires here are going to the solar panels on the east end of the house, the red and black wires, and I am going to put those in conduit, but we actually only bought 3/4 conduit instead of smaller conduit. But that's this side of the house, I think. These fuses here need to be replaced also. These are 40 amp fuses, and I need to go with smaller fuses, much smaller. I hadn't realized I can take this wire off and attach it to this, but this one here, I thought this one was the pump, but it's not. It's this one. And I can reduce the size of the fuse on that one to probably a 10 amp and not have any issues. So let's walk on. These are the 6 more solar panels I have to put up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is kind of our storage room. This is where we are putting stuff that hasn't been installed yet or needs to be installed. I can't find anything in here. It's a rat's nest. Let's go in here to the freezer. This is a standard. It's the True Temper Camo freezer. We got it at Menards. It was on sale, really cheap. And what we did was there's a thermostat, here that's set at 35 degrees. Now you can set your freezer at anything you want. I think this one's set to the max. But this thermostat is a beer thermostat. I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. What does that say? Inkbird. This is an Inkbird thermostat. And the thermostat part goes down to the bottom of the freezer. The freezer plugs in right here, and this plugs into the wall. When this hits 39 degrees, it'll turn on the freezer. So this freezer will stay at 35 degrees. It never seems to vary off 35 degrees. And that's at the upper area of the freezer. So this one here says it's 38.2 degrees right now inside the freezer. So when that hits 39, it'll turn on. The freezer runs for about 2 minutes, and then it shuts itself off. It's really cool. It's using almost no current. It's excellent. When we were doing the house, oops, I dropped that. I probably ought to hang it back. I think I'll leave this open for right now. We pulled these two together and sealed the gap between them. I noticed that there's a little bit of light showing up there on the roof. That means I need to get up there and put my flashing in. I need to do that sometime soon. The camera just shut off. Hope I didn't miss anything. I need to get up on the roof and put in the flashing on this side. I've already done it on that side. I don't want any leaks. The insulation in here is double, all the way around. Everything's double. So you've got a little bit of insulation, the foam, the fiberglass insulation, and underneath that is this 1-inch heavy duty stuff. So it's double insulated. I want it to stay cool in here, and I want it to stay warm in here. So that's going to work. That's all of our insulation. The drywall all the way around is the anti-mold. I'm going to turn this shower on for a minute. I don't have a lot of pressure at the shower. I just want to make sure that that's not leaking. So I'm going to leave that run for a few minutes, just like that. You can hear the pump. Let's wait. So the pump is a shur-flo. It's a shur-flo pump made for a motorhome, is what it's made for. And it's got a strainer, which is shur-flo, and a little pressure container, which is shur-flo. That's all you need. It's plugged in right here. I made a special, see, I have a special connector there, so I can't plug in 110 volt stuff, which is really nice. And then I have a switch up here where I can turn it off and on. That does not appear to be leaking, so I'm going to shut that off. We're going to put this 10 up all the way around. Everything here will be 10. There's no 110 volts in here, so you don't have to worry about getting shocked or anything like that. There is 110 volts right there. And this other one will be a 12 volt receptacle. So this is our counters. I think we got those at Home Depot, I'm not sure. Maybe Lowe's. And this is our countertop. It's a butcher block. Now over here there'll be our stove, propane stove, and one more counter which is still in the box. I haven't taken it out of the box. But you can see I've got wires hanging all over the place. This one is going to go over here for a 12-volt receptacle, and this one will be over here, but we have to figure out where we're going to put the door. We need to put a door over here. This one, this 12-volt receptacle is going to go above this counter, so it really doesn't matter. I can go ahead and put that in if I want. But this one here I probably have to wait on, and this one I can put in right there, and they will be running conduit. I just haven't done that yet. I wanted to do all that yesterday, but I was getting worn out. But that's about it. That's what we've done so far. Maybe it doesn't seem like a lot, but this has been a ton of work. Been a lot of work. Getting these up on the roof would have been a lot easier if we had gone with the standard struts that are made for solar panels, but we didn't. It just would have been easier. The unistrut, you have to cut it, you have to assemble it, you have to go out and buy the bolts you don't have. It's just one thing after another. We have everything we need here to pretty well finish the inside of the house. We have the flooring, we have the matting for under the flooring, we have all the metal above the counter and around the walls here. That will be all metal. And it should look pretty good when we're done. So, but I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that really is super important. I want to try and put a direct vent water heater in here. If I could put a direct vent water heater in this cabinet, I'd be so happy. We're still searching to find one. They're really high dollar, and we didn't have any leaks down there this time, which is good. You can put it back on the toilet. Keep the bugs out. I'm going to leave that light on. This is our bolt collection. That's about it. Got the fuse panel there. And I don't expect to use but maybe 2 more fuses. I could probably use a double here, so these over here would be empty. That's what we've done so far. Most of this stuff has come from eBay. Okay, these I bought on eBay. If you need these things, look on eBay. The rest of this stuff, all this I bought off Amazon. All these shunts actually go to these. Much more accurate way of doing things. All of our 12-volt connectors have come from Amazon. I have another charger here. I have 2 more chargers here. And these are the cheap watt meters. Don't buy these. Do not buy those. Have a whole box here of LED lights. What we're doing with the lights, I'm going to walk back in there. I have a whole bag of stuff right there for lighting. What we're designing, this one isn't finished, keep in mind. This one's not finished, so don't laugh. But that's what we're doing for lights. Using the pipe and just like that almost. So that's going to work out pretty cool. We'll have lights. I think I'm going to put a porch light in next. It'll be right here. And they're going to go out from the wall about an inch, maybe 2 inches, and then down. So the light bulb will be down at a 90 degree like that from the wall going outside. And the same thing inside. We'll have lights. I think we planned on 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Just like that. This kitchen light, I could probably do it the same way, but I think we're going to put a window right here. So I have to wait. That one will most likely be in the ceiling. And you can see we have security all over. That stuff works good. I've got 2 more cameras I'd like to install, but I haven't done it yet. That's pretty much what we've done so far. I'm slow at this. I don't want to have to redo stuff more than once. I don't want to have to redo stuff at all. You can see that thermostat there is at 38.9 degrees. When it hits 39, it's going to turn on. And it might take forever to reach 39. It's going to take a while. But it'll stay about 38.6 to right in that area, 38 to 38.6 for a half hour. It just sits there. And that one, that little white thermometer, it never moves off of 35. When that hertz hits 39, it's going to turn on. Maybe. Someday. Any day now. What happens if I open the hood? You can see that's full of beer and water and Dr. Pepper. We'll have to thin that out when we're ready to put food in it. It's going to take a while. Anyhow, it stays off. It'll set at the cool temperature for a half hour, 25 minutes, half hour, 35 minutes. I haven't timed it exactly yet, but it only runs, the freezer only runs for about 4 minutes. And it drops it all the way down to about 32 degrees. And then it floats back up quickly to about 35, 37 degrees. Then it sets. Then it sets and it sets. It's really working well. You can see it's still at 38.9. All that talking. There, it just now turned on. 39 degrees. So that's good. You'll walk back in here and at 14 amps. That's 14 amps plus the modem. I don't know what else I have running in here. That's how this stuff all works. All the tools we got from Home Depot. I love these Ryobi tools. I don't like Home Depot, but I love their tools. So while that's cooling, it'll pull up to 39.1, 39.2 right in there. It won't go over 40. Still at 39.1. I need to pull this away from the edge of that. Because when it's cooling, this starts to warm up right there. So we're at 38.9. It's dropping slowly. finger stuck. Down to 10 amps. Okay, this one is at 17.4. Cycle through. This one's at 9.8. And that one's at 10.5. We're showing 28 amps going into the batteries. And that's with the freezer running. We have this solar powered ceiling fan for up above on the roof, ventilation fan. But I just have a feeling that that's going to be one leak after another, and I'm not wanting to mess with it. Down to 35. At 35 degrees, it will stop. It will shut off. There's 35. It's off. And it's still dropping. 34.6. 34.5, 4, 3, 2. It'll just keep dropping down to almost 32 degrees. I think that's probably all that I have to show you. I just wanted to do a quick review. Walk around. It's cool in here right now. What's this temperature thing say? 69 degrees in here right now. It's about 90 outside. I pulled a bottle of water out of the bottom a couple of days ago, and it just had a little bit of frost on it. So that really is pleasing. I like the way that works. But that's about all I have to show you. I just wanted to do a quick review of what we've done. And show it off a little bit. I need to clean up my mess in here. I can't find anything again. Walk around. I spend more time looking for stuff than I do working. But that's about it. Now I'm going to back out. One more thing about my controllers real quick. These are 30 amp controllers. And a lot of your controllers that you buy say they're 30 amp, but you cannot fit a 10 gauge wire inside these holes. That means they're not 30 amp. No way. A lot of your expensive controllers are the same way. You cannot fit a 10 gauge wire in these holes, which means they are not 30 amp controllers. So be aware of that. Do your research. One thing that I did here is I maxed out the ratings of each controller. So what these are doing is they're running about 1/2 of their rated capacity. So I'm running 2 panels into each controller. So they'll never go over 20 amps each. They'll never go over probably 18 amps each. I don't think I've ever seen any of these hit over 18 amps. But I thought I'd point that out. I'm just using half the capacity of each of these controllers. That way they should basically last forever. You can see this one here, the load, well, that's load, that's nothing. This has a feature on it for like if you're putting in a street light. You hook up your batteries, you hook up your solar panels, and you hook up your street light here. And when the sun goes down or when the panel stops charging, it has a little bit of a delay, and then it turns on the street lamp through here. That's interesting. I might put it to use. I almost put that feature to use on my weather station outside, but that's just a motorcycle battery. It's not even a deep cycle battery, so I don't want to kill it. You want to keep your battery drain at over let's say less than 90% if you can. I'm running, okay, with what I've got hooked up right now, these batteries don't drop below 12.5 volts. I've never seen the batteries below 12.5 volts with everything running when I come out here early in the morning. Never have seen it. If you let your batteries drop to 11 volts or 10 volts or 9 volts or 8 volts, it's going to reduce the life of your batteries. So keep the batteries at 10% or less maximum drain over max capacity. Just keep your battery draw down and they'll last longer. That's a very important point. I'm going to go back in here one more time. It's time to leave. Let's look at this. It's back up to 37.8. Need to shut off the pump. Gonna have to do that every time we leave. Turn off the pump just to avoid problems, potential problems. Everything's off in here that needs to be off. Back out back. Don't you think this is beautiful? I mean, this is just amazing out here. I can't get over it. Turn off the water. Set the cap on there. Hang up my wrench. That's a 3,000 gallon tank. I am figuring I will, after next week, the water guy is going to be next week, and he's going to top it off. I don't believe I will ever need to have that filled. I don't think I'm ever going to get out of here. Just realized I want to do something. This stuff won't be in these drawers when I'm done. One of the things that I wanted to do this trip was install a light in here, and it didn't get done. Somewhere here, this gas can's bad, I need to throw it away. Somewhere in here I had my wagon ended up being a junk box. I had a fitting to fit on that tank outside. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, I had a complete second fitting to fit on that tank outside, and I don't see it anywhere. So I need to do just a hair bit of work, and I'm going to head out. You all have fun out there. That's all I needed to do, was just put a cap on that. Keep the fuzzier animals out of it. I've already got a spider running around on there. That's scary. Bad spider. Go away. Okay. So it's time to head out. I'll be back here a week. Oh, it's actually during Sturgis. We're going to go to Sturgis, and then we're going to, then I'll be back. I'm going to try and ride the bike, despite the mud and the rain and the evil stuff. All right, we're out of here. Y'all have a great day.